What's up, guys? Today we will be comparing the Pixel 6 Pro to the iPhone 14 Pro. Here, I was really curious more about the image quality, so I will show you guys these side-by-side stills. You guys know I'm a big fan of Google image processing. So let's go ahead and get started. The price on the Pixel 6 Pro has come down a lot. You can find it for around $650, which is really awesome. The 14 Pro will cost you $1,000, and if you want the Pro Max, because you might just want the bigger size, it's going to cost you an extra $100 on top of that. So both of these phones have some really nice, unique designs, especially the Pixel. Google has done a great job making this phone extremely distinct. So when you see this camera module set up, you pretty much know it's going to be a Pixel phone. They're both premium glass and metal designs. They both have IP68 dust and water resistant rating. I do like the matte finish on the iPhone. It doesn't pick up fingerprints and stuff like that. You can kind of see a little bit of fingerprints on the Pixel. But as far as the build quality, these are two very, very nice feeling phones in the hand. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the display design on these two phones. So with the Pixel, you have a 6.7-inch display. It's LTPO AMOLED. It's 120 Hz HDR10+. It's a 1440p resolution display, and it is 512 for the PPI. With the 14 Pro, it's a 6.1-inch display. Like I said, if you get the Pro Max, you will also get a 6.7-inch display. It's also LTPO, Super Retina XDR OLED, 120 Hz HDR10. It can get a peak brightness up to 2000, which makes it one of the brightest phones that you can get, which is really nice. I still do prefer the traditional punch hole design on the Pixel as opposed to Apple's pill-shaped cutout, which is a big improvement from the notch that we had for so long. But I actually do like the flat display on the iPhone as well too. I also do really love the curved display. So a lot of people, it's either one or the other. I actually do like both of them. I really don't mind. I think the curved design makes the phone look a little bit more premium to me, but it really just comes down to personal preference. But for me, I do really like the Pixel's display. I like the smaller notch, and I like that it has a 2K resolution as well too. Let's talk about the speed on both of these phones. I'm actually really impressed with Android 13. I just updated to it, and it is just buttery smooth. Stock Android has always been just super smooth as far as like animations and stuff goes. It just has a really smooth experience the way that they do the animations and everything. So that's one thing that I really love. I even think it's smoother than iOS. Honestly, it just feels extremely like buttery smooth. So let's go ahead and talk about the chips. So we have the Google Tensor chip, 12 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. With the iPhone, we have the iOS 16 A16 chip, and then we also have 128 gigs and 6 gigs of RAM here. So if I pull up the Geekbench scores here, you can kind of see what you are working with here. And you can see those scores there. The iPhone will beat the Pixel in terms of single and multi-core. Now when it comes to just real world use, they both pretty much feel on par with each other. We go ahead and launch YouTube. Pretty much the same. Super smooth scrolling on both. Have more of a fast scroll on the Pixel, more of a slower smooth scroll on the iPhone though. Let's go ahead and try Subway Surf. iPhone, Pixel. So you guys can see not too not too much of a difference here. Let's try a heavier game, PUBG. Alright guys, you can see we're in PUBG, and the gaming experience is going to be pretty good. Our max settings on the iPhone is HDR Extreme. It runs very good, able to hold 60 frames. There probably will be an update that will give it the 90 frames option again, like on the 13 Pro. On the Pixel, I think this is HDR Ultra, so we can do, it's not able to do HDR Extreme. We can do Smooth Extreme, but that's most likely due to optimization since the Tensor chip is pretty new. But like I said, if you're more of a casual gamer, you won't really notice a difference. If you do play a ton of games, stuff like that, yes, the iPhone is probably going to be better for games like Genshin and stuff like that. But yeah, alright, let's go ahead and talk about some of the additional features here. So the Pixel you will get a fingerprint scanner, which works. They have been working on it, I can tell, because it's a little bit more consistent than when it first came out. But unfortunately, there's no face unlock feature on the Pixel. With the iPhone, it's the same thing, only one implementation. So we get Face ID, which works flawlessly. So no issues there with either of these. It just depends on which one you like more. As far as the speaker quality goes, I'm really curious about this. I wonder which one has a better speaker. Let's go ahead and start with the Pixel. Now there is just a little bit more detail with the bass on the Pixel, but they about sound the same in terms of loudness. They're just tuned slightly different, but they're both two excellent speakers. Like I said, they sound really close, but they're just slight different tunings. Yeah. It's just too close to call here, but yeah, just know you're gonna get an excellent speaker with both of these phones here. So let's go ahead and talk about. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the camera specs on here, and I'll show you guys these side-by-side stills. So the Pixel, it does have a 50 megapixel standard. It's also got a 48 megapixel telephoto that actually can do 4x. Optical zoom, and then you also have a 12 megapixel ultra wide and shooting in 4K 60, and then you have an 11.1 megapixel ultra wide selfie cam on here, and that shoots in 4K 30. The iPhone does have the new 48 megapixel standard, and then a 12 megapixel telephoto that does 3x, and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It does have a macro mode, and you also have 4K 60, and then a 12 megapixel selfie cam that shoots in 4K 60 as well. So let me know, which shots do you guys think looked better? Alright guys, here's the video on the Pixel. Here's our 0.7, 2x, 4x, alright guys, here is the video on the 14 Pro here. It's a 0.6, 2x, there's our 3x, alright. Lastly, as far as the battery experience, these are two great battery life phones. Both these phones can easily do 6 hours of screen on time. You probably can get slightly better battery life on the 14 Pro. So that is really nice, but just know both phones are going to do excellent when it comes to battery life. The specs go, the Pixel 6 Pro has 5,000 milliamp battery. It also has 30-watt fast charging on here, and then you have reverse wireless charging as well, which is really nice. So you can charge up earbuds, or you can even charge up another phone with a Pixel, which is sweet. The iPhone does have a 3,200 milliamp battery, and then you also have the MagSafe wireless charging and your standard wireless charging, but it does not have any type of reverse wireless charging. So that is pretty much it, guys. These are two extremely solid phones. I really love the Pixel at this price point. Now that it's come down $650, makes it a steal. Be sure to let me know, what do you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.